Good evening and welcome to APUSH Nation Live from the Wind Studios. We are happy to present to you with a special report on President Gerald Ford. Here we are with the headlines today. But before that, today is more like it is now than it will ever be. Enjoy our show, guys.
I'm a Ford, not a Lincoln.
Hey, Push Nation. We're going to be doing this segment on Gerald Ford, the 38th President of the United States. Here's a little cocktail party knowledge to start off our report. Did you know Gerald Ford wasn't actually named that at birth? His mother named him Leslie King after his father, but eventually she divorced him and then renamed her son after her second husband. Gerald Ford grew up in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and eventually went to the University of Michigan for law school. He also played on their football team. Eventually, he transferred to Yale University to finish his degree. After graduating from Yale, he returned to Grand Rapids to begin his practice as a lawyer.
Following the war, Ford decided to run as a Republican HOR member. After this, in Nixon's second term, Ford was appointed as his vice president. But did you know that Ford was the first person to reach the White House without being elected president or vice president? He was appointed vice president for Nixon in 1973 and replaced Spiro Agnew. After the Watergate scandal, Nixon resigned, making Gerald Ford the 38th president of the United States of America.
Hey guys, so I'll be talking to you about Ford's presidency. So, although not many impactful domestic events occurred during this time, here's some highlights. When Ford was taking office, he was not only becoming the president of the United States, he was also becoming the caretaker of all the problems left behind by the Watergate scandal. Not long after he took office, he was faced by an important political decision, whether to pardon Nixon. Believing that prolonged legal proceedings would harm the morale of the country and keep the Congress from dealing with other issues, he pardoned Nixon, which prevented any formal criminal charges to be filed. This was one of the leading factors that jump-started Gerald Ford's lame duck period, and was the reason behind his disfavorable opinion in the media. The pardon became a very problematic issue, as it caused the public to believe that Richard Nixon and Gerald Ford were secretly working together. However, to end this conspiracy, when Ford gained his presidency, he claimed, "My fellow Americans, our long national nightmares are over," referring to the end of Nixon's reign.
During this time, the Democratic Congress continued to investigate the CIA and other executive branches for atrocities like the assassinations of multiple foreign leaders. To address this problem, President Ford appointed George H.W. Bush, who would later go on to be president.
Plans in relation to Russia and China, the tensions slowly lessened. However, rising tension in the Middle East with conflicts between the Turkish and the Greeks, as well as the Arabs and the Israeli, caused Ford to worry. He vetoed 2 bills from Congress that attempted to stop the American supply of military support to Turkey, but eventually they compromised to end support at the end of 1 year. President Ford was ultimately concerned with how it would affect the relations between America and Turkey, as well as the impact on Turkish immigrants and their families. Although there had been a ceasefire established between Israel and the Arabs, no attempt to create peace had been made, and Congress was pushing Ford to do something. For a 6-month period, the U.S. refused to establish new agreements on aiding Israel in their efforts, causing a backlash among the American Jewish community. Eventually, the Sinai Interim Treaty was signed, which forced the nations in conflict to resolve their issues peacefully and to create a UN buffer zone in the Sinai. Are you tired of inflation? Watching the prices soar up and up and up? Do you want to take control of inflation and end the current recession? Then I encourage you to join the WIN campaign. By joining the cause to whip inflation now, you can help take control of our current economic condition. Encourage others to participate and put a stop to public enemy number 1, inflation. So grab your WIN buttons and help us whip the economy back into shape.
Hey guys, welcome back from your break. So at this time, Nelson Rockefeller had been appointed vice president, and all of Nixon's staff had been replaced. So, the major issue at hand now was inflation, money, anything related with the economy. Ford recognized inflation as the primary concern of the Americans and the main cause of the economic downfall. Unemployment rates were rising. Inflation was rising. Prices of American goods were rising. The economy didn't look so great for the United States. This time period was also known as the worst recession since the Great Depression. So, considering that, it was really bad. So Ford, in order to conquer or control inflation, began to promote a campaign known as Whip Inflation Now. And it was all through the support of voluntary restraints. So win buttons, as shown in the advertisement, were circulated throughout the country. However, instead of helping inflation, it became a national joke. There weren't any volunteers. It was more like, hey, I have a win button. We're saving inflation. Oh, great. So this prompted critics to declare Ford's response to inflation as ineffective. The other option that Ford could have used was to support legislation that controlled wages and pricing. However, we don't know how that would have worked out. So in conclusion, the WHIP program didn't really work. See you soon, APUSHnation.
United States. My fellow Americans, I have called upon the networks tonight to make two pressing issues clear to the American public. Number one, the possible default of New York City. And number one, my stand on the Ronald Reagan announcement. Hello? Hello? Hello, Nesson? I can't hear you. What, are you in the pool? I guess the other phone's ringing. I don't know. All right. Firstly, the default of New York City. Let me be clear on my feelings about this. As president, I will change my mind wherever I want. Hello, hotline. Anwar, just a second. I'm on the air right now. I'll get you a Kissinger, okay? Hank, can you talk to Sadat for a minute? Thank you. The point is, do I really know what the issue is? Relevant, irrelevant, fault, default, these are just hard words. Yes, Hank? All right, I'll talk to Anwar. All right, okay. Anwar, hello? Hello? The bailout bill now before the House of Representatives does not address the current situation, and I would veto it. Current situation being that the longer I hold out on New York City, the better chances I have with those conservative Republicans who might otherwise support Ronald Reagan. Pretty smart, eh?
Whip inflation now.
I got it.
Goodness. Yeah, I got it lost for you. I'm just kidding. Watch your knock.